Hello everyone. Today we concluded with the 8th round of the Women Grand Prix taking place here in the capital, New Delhi, India. Kateryna Lagno drew against Alexandra Goryachkina, both of them countrymates, teammates and friends from Russia. They are playing under the FIDE flag. Kateryna was white against Goryachkina. Kateryna opened with e4 on the first move, to which Goryachkina replied with the Berlin defense to Kateryna's Royal Lepers opening choice. And here Kateryna went for the d3 variation, the closed system of the Berlin. This was the position that the players reached after about 15 moves. Here Lagno found a strong idea with b3 intending c4 and bishop to b2, covering this wonderful diagonal a1 to h8. Black replied knight at 7, thinking c4 will be met with queen f6, which is what happened, and bishop b2 will be met with c5, winning a piece. Well, what was wrong with Goryachkina's idea? The point is that here white has the very strong reply e5, a pawn sacrifice. So let's see what's wrong with black's position over here. After you play c5, you completely shut out the a7 bishop, and as a result white is able to play the rest of the position, being almost a piece up. e5 saves the knight on d4, and rook into e5 is impossible due to knight e2, a wonderful idea, stopping rook into e1 check, and now the exchange is lost. So black has to take back with the pawn, and here a strong move would have been knight f5, but Lagno did not go for it. Instead, she quickly played knight f3, probably expecting e4, which can be replied with even queen c2, saving the bishop and keeping the queen still under attack. However, Goryachkina found an excellent move here. Queen d6, great defense by Goryachkina, and now the position is almost equal, but not really, because the bishop on a7 remains stuck there behind her own pawns. 26 moves into the game, we see that white has managed to win back the sacrificed pawn and has also managed to retain all of her positional advantage with the knight jumping to f5. Here Lagno found an excellent idea, breaking open the center with f4. If black takes, then the bishop opens up even more. So black went e4, a logical move, but this was met with queen to c2, pressurizing e4. Black replied queen g6, and now knight e4 is impossible due to bishop takes, rook takes, queen f5, and rook e8 is not a check, and hence the queen on c2 hangs and white loses a piece. So knight e4 would not have been possible. White plays the calm and collected king h2. Black replied with knight e6, threatening to come to d4 with her knight. White played queen f2, supporting the f4 pawn. Black is having problems defending the e4 pawn. She plays rook a8, threatening the a2. a3 was played, and rook comes back to b8, hoping to create problems against the b3. Now white played another good move with rook to e3, covering the b3 pawn and having the intention to jump to the g file anytime she wants. Now black replied king h8, safeguarding her king against any kind of attack on the g file. White played knight h4, queen has to go back, and white simply picked up the e4 pawn. So now white is a pawn up and has a great position as well. Lagno has played excellently so far in this game, and at this point she finds one more brilliant idea. She broke up on the queen side with b4, threatening to undermine the d4 knight, which is wonderfully placed by bc5, and picking it up for free. C into b4 will run into c5, attacking the bishop, and then we pick up the d4 knight. So black took queen takes on c4, picking up a pawn, and after pawn into pawn, she played bishop a5. Bishop c5 here would lose to knight takes, queen takes, and bishop d4. And now queen into d4 would lose to rook e8 check, followed by queen takes the queen. So this was impossible, and black, that's why, did not pick up the pawn but played bishop a5 instead. Now the e1 rook is attacked, so white finds another brilliancy. She took knight into f6 check, pawn into f6, and rook e8. Now rook into e8 will be met with the simple rook takes, bishop takes, and either bishop takes knight or queen takes knight, both of whom are winning moves for white. So black has to take on e8 with the bishop, leaving the e1 rook hanging, and here Lagno found the last move of the combination, rook e4. A wonderful move found by Lagno over the board, and this seals the deal for white. Until here, black has been on the back foot, but here Goryachkina found an extremely resourceful move which creates problems for white. Goryachkina found the wonderful move queen d5 here. Queen c5 would lose to the simple bishop into d4, and all of white's pieces are ready to checkmate black's king any moment. Instead, she played queen d5 here, attacking the e4 rook and forcing rook into d4, and now we see that it's not easy to get this bishop to f6. Now black takes on c5, and Lagno spent a good amount of time before playing queen g3 here. However, here queen e2 would have also been a good move, just bringing the queen out of the pin, keeping the b2 bishop defended, and white is ready to play not f5 because it allows queen e5, but many moves like rook e4 and bishop f6 are possible. Now we have reached the final moments, and everyone expected Lagno to find the final combination and come back home with the full point. But let's see what happened. Lagno played queen g3, which is correct, and after king f8, she also gave a check on g6. Not clear if this was entirely required. Even bishop a1 was an interesting idea here. But knight g6 is of course the best move in the position. Bishop into g6, queen g6, rook b2 would run into the simple queen f6, king g8 and rook d8 check, king h7 and rook h8 checkmate. So this doesn't work. Black has to play king f7, the only move, and white gave a check on h8, which is again correct. Black has to go back to f8, and here Lagno, with 2 minutes on the clock, decided to repeat as she could not find a win for white. But let's see what she missed. Here rook d7 was a brilliancy that was missed by Lagno. Had she got access to the eval bar, she would have known that this position is +6 for white, and she would have spent time here looking for a win. However, with only 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes on the clock, she decided to repeat and played knight g6 check, king f7, knight h8, and the game ended in a draw. Let's see how rook d7 wins the game for white. Rook d7, a brilliancy. The rook is not capturing any pawn or piece on d7 and is absolutely free to take. Rook b2 would be an epic blunder as it allows queen g7 checkmate. So black has to take on d7. And now another brilliant move that white had to find was queen g6, not bishop f6, because it allows bishop e6, and now after queen g7, king e8, there is no checkmate on f7 as it is guarded by the bishop. The e7 square is also guarded by the queen, and the g8 square is also guarded by the bishop. So this was not good, but queen g6 wins for white. A very, very difficult move to spot, but had Lagno got more time, she would have definitely found it. Now let's see the variations. Black has 3 moves here. One is queen e7, but it runs into bishop f6, and the queen has no squares by which it can still guard e7 and f7. So this is lost for black. The other move that black had was bishop e6, and here also it is fairly easy win for white with queen f6 check. King comes to e8, g8 would run into queen g7 checkmate, king comes to e8, and you simply pick up the e6 bishop as well, and this is also winning. One of the ways that white wins is queen e7, queen c6 check, king d8 is impossible because of bishop f6, so queen d7, queen g6, queen f7 is impossible because of queen f7, so king d8, queen g8, queen e8, bishop f6, बहुत difficult है, king d5 and queen d5, picking up the a5 bishop. It's not a checkmate, but white is completely winning. And the third option that black had was to play queen d5, covering the f7 square, but this runs into bishop f6, queen g8, queen h6 check, king e8, queen h5 check, king f8, queen c5 check, a wonderful piece of geometry here, king e8 forced, and queen e7 checkmate. A great game by Lagno and wonderful defensive resources by Goryachkina. A treat to watch and comment on this game.